Hey, hi, howdy. Welcome to the first installment of Unhinged Tarot. My name is Angelina and I run the spiritual business Your Authenticity Witch. Just a quick little background. This is, as I said, the first installment of Unhinged Tarot, and if you're unfamiliar with what that means, I'm going to be using tarot cards to contact celebrities, alive or dead, until the audience grows for this and I have audience participation. I'm gonna do whatever I want. So this first one is going to be very personal to me. I'm going to be trying to contact David Duchovny. And why am I contacting David Duchovny? Because I'm fucking obsessed with David Duchovny on like many levels. He's the only celebrity that I've genuinely wanted to get in bed with, and I've watched him act in so many things, and I am always impressed, and I'm always like, God damn, man, even as an old man. So, according to the Pattern app, I have known David Duchovny's soul entity, life force being at another point in time, and that is why I'm super obsessed with him in 2025. So I haven't known specifically David Duchovny, but I have known David Duchovny. So I have been trying to think of a question that I could ask David Duchovny's higher self, so that it will be both informational to me, but also, um, I guess, interesting to the YouTube audience of the people who watch this. So I am going to ask something along the lines of, is it true that we knew each other in a past life? And if so, what messages do you have for me today? So this is going to be a tarot reading for me today. And then at the end of it, I'm going to give you an evaluation of what I think. Was this accurate for me? Did I feel like it was difficult, etc., etc.? And then for that'll be a different conversation. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the traditional Rider Waite deck as long as they let me, by which I mean I haven't tried to use it. I don't know if they'll let me. I may have to get the other one. Um, okay, so give me a minute here. Pause. You know what? I'm just going to do that on camera. Okay. So I'm contacting David Duchovny. I'm contacting David Duchovny. David Duchovny. David Duchovny. David Duchovny. David Duchovny. David Duchovny. I'm contacting David Duchovny. I'm contacting David Duchovny. Oh boy, I'm contacting David Duchovny. I'm like nervous. Is there anyone else? Yes. And then this one, and this one, and this one, and I'll take you too, and also this one, and fine, I'll take that one. Anyone else? Okay. No one else. No one else. I'm gonna try to pull oracle cards because it makes tarot more interesting. I'm contacting David Duchovny. Did I know you in a past life? And if so, what messages do you have for me today? Contacting David Duchovny. David Duchovny. Okay, that's all. So we'll look at the Oracle cards last, as always. I'm running this like I run all of my other tarot appointments. We're going to look at all the cards, and then we're going to look at the Oracle cards last. You may be asking, do I use a spread? No, I don't. And I never have, and I probably never will. And you can come at me if you want to, but I don't really care. Okay. I have the High Priestess, the Lovers, the Three of Wands, the Emperor. Oh, I'm getting the Chariot, the Eight of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, Strength, the Ten of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, the Star, the Four of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, the Empress. Okay, so first off, I just want to say rich. Fucking rich, dude. So rich. Okay, so my suspicion is that what I'm contacting isn't specifically David Duchovny, but it's David Duchovny's past self that I had contact with, not specifically David Duchovny in 2025. So I'm going to organize these really quick so that way I can look at them in a better way. That will give me a picture of a story, and I'll be able to tell you the things that I want to tell you. Okay. The information that I am receiving so far is that we knew each other for a long time. It was a working relationship. Do you mean that we worked together or that we worked on our relationship? It's interesting because all of these cards are about money or passion. And the two that stand out to me the most right now is the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. One is about courage and independence, and the other one, of course, is about prosperity and financial well-being. And it feels like these two things are separate. Like in one mind, this person is occupying independence, and in the other mind, this person is occupying financial stability, and those two things are not found together. So, in what way does intuition separate you from financial prosperity? And what way do those two things connect you? I never read for myself, you guys, so this is silly. So because of these two attitudes, not being able to unify them, but seeing them as separate places. It feels like there was like a storm that had to be weathered, where like there had been an extreme passing of time. Things had been well, and then they were not well, and then they were well again. But it was because of our friendship that they were well again. So I feel like there was a downfall when it comes to reputation and personality. The Empress card and Emperor card and High Priestess card all be so. This to me, and please just hear me and take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. This to me, plus the Chariot, really reminds me of royalty. Really reminds me of royalty, and whatever aspect you think of in royalty in archaic medieval times or Renaissance times or wherever this timeline took place. Meaning that, okay, and that's why there's a pentacles and a wands, because it is representing the role of each one of us in the relationship, meaning that one person was financially oriented and the other one was intuitive. So if this was a pairing, if this was a pairing of two people in a couple and they were in a situation where they were in some sort of leadership aspect, that would mean that one person wanted them to act with intuition and understanding and foresight based on this otherworldly reasoning, and the other person was more concerned about the financial well-being of the community, and how their representation in their own personal role impacts the community. Whereas this intuitive person is worried about how the relationship between the two of them is going to impact their finances, is going to impact the community. Because this other person has the ability to see the foresight farther than the person who's just concerned with material things. So, what I'm thinking is the suffering that comes about from transition is because of ignorance. And the ignorance is from an unwillingness to let go of position and idea. So, if these two things are about masculinity and femininity, about how to invine that from a divine realm, about how to create, about how to father, about how to build community and build relationships and be somebody who you can look on securely. There is a difference between these set of people and these set of people, meaning that, in my opinion, there was an evolution that took place from this divide into this unity, like a passing of time through lessons learned that allowed these people to grow together and understand the ways in which their relationship benefits each other, that allows them to transform into different people. In reference to the High Priestess, I feel like that is an exterior figure. Like literally a mother person, someone who was really close to the family, someone who's a lady, someone who has genuinely the best interest at heart, and who also has the capacity, like has the second sight, like has the ability to see the picture within the picture and understands how actions have repercussions in a bigger way than these people who are starting out divided and later graduate into the emperor and empress character um, knows. So guidance and understanding through this high priestess figure. And I don't know if it's like a mother-in-law person or if it's like a church leader, but it's someone who has like infinite knowledge who is able to help them get on the straight and narrow. And like without this figure being in the life of these people, there would have been no way for them to graduate into this evolved being that they are. Um, because the times that they would have fallen on, which is really only represented by like literally one hiccup, you know, everything else is going pretty well. um oh, I see. Okay, so here's what they're saying. They're saying that this is where we started with infinite wealth, having total security, like it's there, to losing it all due to ignorance, arrogance, an inability to accept a situation that's really truly happening. And the thing is between these two characters, these two queens, there's no abandoning each other in this time. Like, there's only the other person saying, I'm going to help you through this because I love you. That's so nice. So, it's a graduation of lessons. We're here, we're losing things. What do we learn? We learn that wealth is about giving and taking. We learn that there is a balance. We learn that in order to be this person where prosperity is in a loop, where we're giving and taking, we have the ability to receive and to give. We need to allow ourselves to think and feel in a different way. Because I think what's happening too, in a lot of ways, is the person who is more financially oriented, they are allowing logic and they're allowing logic to run away with their emotions. And it's not as if that person is unable to feel, it's that they're refusing to do so because they feel like it is an obstacle for them and it prevents them from like truly running the ship, like truly running the ship. So I know I have everything like spread out in a different way that you can't see because you're not looking at the floor, but things are like very segmented: time, place, time, place. Time, place, time, place, time, place. Yeah, I do think so. I do think so. I'm getting ready to talk about two cards because there's a lot of like threads that are created. So, in reference to the Two of Swords and the Knight of Cups, the weighing of difficult decisions, as well as this Knight of Cups being about imagination and beauty and romance. because I think that's what we're seeing here. Hmm. So at one point, for whatever reason, the Queen of Pentacles character thinks that the best option would be to flee, to literally abandon the task at hand, meaning ruling the kingdom in whatever way we're ruling the kingdom. And that is part of the Chariot and the Two of Swords. What happened? Was there financial disaster? Was it like taxes? Was it a war? Is this representation of the personal relationship? It's finances. It's land. It's home. It's land. And the division is, oh, the division is between people, houses, family houses. So the division is between family houses. Whose family? The Pentacles person family. Who am I in this reading? No one would be surprised to find out I'm the Wands. So then, what is the decision? So there's been some sort of argument taking place. And it's not necessarily treason. It's not like, is this person fit to rule? It's like, I actually don't want to live in a place where there is ruling. I want us to all be free people. The loss of that is what creates this downturn. Because instead of relinquishing the reins, and trying to enter into a new time, like literally a new era of like arts and romance, of connection, of creativity, of coming together, of like different houses, of like being a melting pot, like in your little section. This Pentacles person is really resistant to that. It's really scary to them. There's a level of fear associated with this that is hard to see in the cards, like with what they are, literally. But at some point in time, the Pentacles person has come to think that tradition and value is worth more than creativity and expansive thought. Like, it's almost like the budding of the age of enlightenment and feeling like you shouldn't use a printing press, or you shouldn't explore what the planets look like in the sky, or like dissection is wrong, or like the advancement of technology and like thought and people is actually a wedge between you and the common man and or the people that you know, instead of like a curious quandary that would unify, and give you like a point of discussion. Like learning for them is dangerous because of God, and how it has made them fearful of everything that is considered unknown. And the interesting thing about this is that the Wands character believes in God, but not God, not in the way that church is, which is why this high priestess character is involved, because they are allowing them, the Pentacles person, to turn a new leaf into recognizing that without expansion, growth, education, learning, the ability to have conversations that allow your mind to grow, that stagnation is worse than that stagnation is worse than the disruption it will create by having a difference of opinions. And like the difference of opinions is where you grow. So any unrest that is happening is an interpersonal conflict between this person and the expansion of the houses around them. Meaning that he is faced with a choice. And the choice is, what am I going to accept? Am I going to grow up and allow myself to learn, or am I going to squash all of the things around me because of fear? And because of this, people are breaking away. That's what this traveling card is about. People are breaking away. They don't want to stay connected. Think of it like jewels of a crown, and each one of the jewels on the crown are falling out. You know, in Robin Hood, when they go to rob the king and they suck out all of the jewels, that's what's happening, except it's happening because they're moving. Do you get me? So with that happening, the exodus of all of the family, it is making them less strong. It's making them more susceptible to like, it's like reputation, right? It's like reputation, and it's understanding of like your place in the community. But because they're of such high stature, the fact that there's a disagreement that would set the precedence for all of the community around them, it's creating like a lot of talk on the town. And that talk on the town, talk of the town, is ruining their ability to like be affluent. Somehow it's affecting the flow of money, but I don't really understand how. And I'm so sorry, but my microphone just died, and we're going to keep going with it. So, if money is also about flow, education and learning is also about flow, and this person is refusing to become enlightened in any way because they fear that it will ruin their relationships with people, their relationships with money, and their ability to keep their community together, they're essentially stopping the flow. Like, this Knight of Cups then is no longer able to move forward, okay? It's like putting this horse in a pen. But there is like literally an outcry because people don't want to see this happening. People don't want to see this happening at all. And there's going to be an opportunity presented to him that says you can unify or you can dissolve. And why would you want to dissolve? There are so many things going on in your life that are actually very prosperous for you. You love this person that you're with. You love the community that you're in. You will have to learn. You will have to learn that also learning is money. If money is something that you're so concerned about, if money is something that you're so concerned about, then the question would be, how can you learn to allow money into your life? So, what is the opportunity? I'm going to say a meeting of the minds, like an exhibition. Ooh, like a World's Fair situation, but before there were World's Fairs, where everybody in the community comes to demonstrate their whatever of excellency. All of the things I mentioned before, a printing press, a telescope, the ability to make glasses, like all of the things that were like new budding technology. And it's old-timey, it's very old-timey in this reading, but I'm thinking like even before electricity, old-timey. So any technological advances were very expansive and exciting. And there is the recognition that investment is very important for the future and that giving away money will produce money. And that becomes the new role. That becomes the new role. Meaning that graduating from these two very dissected people, right, they're different, to these other people, emperor and empress, who are now unified, understanding, representing each side of the coin, feminine and masculine, able to come together to form one LOL super being, then that means that the decisions that happen, the desire to move forward, is based on unity, being able to actually get your chariot together. So I'm wondering, yes. Persuasion, influence, compassion. There really feels like there's a great deal of outside influence in the, not only in the Empress card, but in the Strength card and in the Star card. Almost like there were 3 individual players that aligned in order to become like a sounding board. Are these the people? Are they involved in the exhibition? Did they create it? Are they from the local community? Do they know them personally? Are they from the church? Is it a cult? Okay, it's not a cult, but it is spiritual. It's like the blending of science as well as the blending of spirituality. Demonstrating that you can have both, which is a new thought for this Pentacles person. A very exciting thought for this Pentacles person. So from indecision, we're faced with now a turning point. And the Lover's card isn't about fucking. It's not about loving. It's about turning to a decision that you love. And I think these two players then, the two queens who graduate into the Empress and Emperor, both come to a decision that they love to support one another through these times, but also to allow the budding of information, the growth of information, to allow each other to develop into a whole person. So then the question is, what the fuck does any of this have to do with 2025? Because I don't know David Duchovny. All I can do is watch him on TV. So, with all of that being said, fuck you. Is there anything else? Is that all? So, I get the feeling that I felt very at home with this person in a way that I hadn't felt with anybody quite like them at that time in my life, and that they showed me what it was like to continuously choose to connect to my intuition and use that to govern my decisions and help me move in my life. And it was very loving and very kind. And potentially that together we had a very balanced relationship, even if things were weird. Like, we always chose the balanced approach to things, and we helped each other's purpose and growth. And there was always a determination to succeed between us. Which is what I'm getting from this Temperance card. And that, damn, and that we really could be vulnerable in a way that we couldn't be with other people, like genuinely seen, feeling very secure. And the dedication to working through stagnation caused by fear of growth made our relationship so much stronger. That ability to be vulnerable, that desire to connect no matter what, the trust in outside sources, the ability to approach things with compassion was so important. That is the bond. That is the bond. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm really seeing. That's what I'm seeing in him now. That's how I feel about him, not knowing anything about him, never having spoke to him. But that way that I just described him, in the way that I just read these cards, that's exactly how I feel about him now. That's exactly how I feel about him. Shut up. The Emperor, stupid. The Bull, sorry, it's the Emperor with loyalty, the Bull with dedication, Salmon with discomfort, the Garden Snail with isolation, and the Narwhal with depth. I'm going to do the Narwhal first. Now, when I do these cards, I just read what I'm supposed to read, and it will make sense within the reading. And sometimes I've given more information, depending on things. The Narwhal says that your current situation requires you to move past the superficial and reach into the depths. You may have gotten caught up in frivolous and trivial concerns. Wherever you are is the tip of the iceberg. You are missing the bottom line. There is something profound waiting for you if you venture a little further. Your current situation requires forward direction. The Narwhal often hints that something could be clouding your vision and obscuring your view. Is it likely that you are not seeing the bottom of things, but that they go deeper than you realize? And I mean, overall, with the encompassing of having these other three players, and it's interesting because these other three players, like, also each represent a particular facet of the human personality, right? This very deep, intuitive, interconnected person, this person with strength and courage and the ability to be compassionate and intuitive, and then also like another facet of magic and flow. And I just feel like these people, these characteristics, this movement of people into the life of the Pentacles person really helped them discover the root of the issue, which kind of feels like, I mean, I really feel like the church is to blame, and I really don't think that we have like an understanding and genuine appreciation of how absolutely volatile, violent, and abusive and oppressive the church was to people, like way more than our worst dreams about the church 200, 500 years ago. And if you're raised in a culture of fear and a culture of suppression because you've been oppressed, you're only going to be able to represent one facet of yourself. So for this person to be able to transition from only being focused on how their personality represents them in their community and how their role in their community allows them to acquire security, and how that behavior has cut themselves off from the ability to be intuitive, the ability to be vulnerable, the ability to have deeper conversations and to explore their past in a way that will help them be more intimate with themselves and their partner and their family, in order to go from having a lot to having lost, to being balanced and both giving and receiving financially, in your home, with the people, money, food, like all of those aspects of reciprocity, there has to be such a desire to transform, like, and I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of them because they were willing to explore and dissect things that they wouldn't have been able to explore and dissect if they hadn't had these characters in their lives. Because the way they were able to show the beauty of religion without the church was so healing for them. And I mean that. Like, I can't describe, I can't give you more. It's so funny because depth, discomfort, and dedication all start with a D. I want to do the salmon next. Salmon. I've never, okay. Ooh. Okay, so journeying into new waters requires an adjustment time. You'll want to be able to make this journey more than once, so you must take care of yourself, especially if you're uncomfortable. The salmon could be asking you to break a cycle that you're in. Allow this time to be a period of transition. Allow yourself to find comfort in the discomfort, baby. Yes, the big open ocean is an overwhelming place, but you don't want to live in your tiny stream forever. Put yourself out there and take risks. With time, you will realign to a bigger and better place because you're moving forward. Oh no, oh my gosh, it's just so lovely. Like, the ability, this person has changed so much. There has been so much growth. Like, it's really beautiful. And like, the person that he started out being and the person that he died is like so vastly different. And like, I don't know when these time periods are. I don't know how many lives the soul that is David Duchovny has lived, but like, I mean, he has had his struggles, but he has also seen great success. Great success. All right, let's look at the bowl with dedication. The bull is portrayed in many instances as a sedentary animal, and in fact they are. They are not fond of unnecessary movement. They look for the best spot to graze, and there they will stay until something significant becomes a cause for concern. Look at this not as complacency, but as a lesson and who and what you dedicate yourself to. The bull is associated with earth because it understands ownership. This animal is asking you to be discerning. What have you staked your claim to, and how do you plan to be a responsible owner? The place you choose to graze deserves your devotion. That's so interesting, because that literally is the conversation that we're having right now, you know, like rededication, growth, the flipping, like literally flipping and understanding who you've been and how to be through learning discernment. And what I enjoy about this, having the juxtaposition of the Queen of Wands person and the Queen of Pentacles person, is that the Queen of Wands person already has the capacity to discern. So their relationship together has been able to teach them discernment, strength, and fortitude with those things. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's look at the gardens now with isolation. Gardens. Snail, garden snail, does whatever a garden snail does. While relatively small, the garden snail is strong for its size, able to lift up 10 times their body weight. Recognizing your soft and squishy insides doesn't make you weak, just protective of what you hold dear. We talked about this. Those who keep their cards close to their chest are often the most emotional and sensitive of all. Crawling out of your shell and into the open field carelessly is a dangerous business. However, if you master the art of knowing when and how to crawl out of your mental, physical, or emotional isolation, you may begin to venture out of your shell more often, finding the outside world a more welcoming place than you previously believed. Open up and you will be surprised as to what is waiting for you on the outside. And that's like literally the lesson that this Pentacles person has learned. That's really cool. What a cool little life this person led. What a cool relationship this was. I can see why I like David Duchovny so much. What a wild time this has been. Okay. The Emperor shows us what is possible when a group can come together and be loyal to itself. When their frigid climate becomes too sensitive, these penguins will huddle together and take turns shifting toward the inside of the circle where it is warmer. By revolving in this way, they manage to sustain the comfort of the entire group. This social bird encourages you to manifest loyalty both to yourself and your intimate relationships, but also to the larger communities you are a part of. When we are committed to something, we are willing to put ourselves second, if necessary, to create a stronger whole. Wow. Wow, dude. Loyalty isn't exclusive to forever. It isn't found in rings and ceremonies, but exists in the abstract and your commitment to love. Remain loyal to who and what helps you grow, change, and flourish into the best version of yourself you can be. That's literally so beautiful, dude. Wow. Okay. Do I have anything else to say? Do you have anything else to say? I really think I got it. And I just want to say I did not wear my skull ring that helps me connect. Wow. So, how do I feel about this reading? I feel like it was a little complicated at first because there are a lot of fucking cards, and sometimes I feel like it's problematic to deal with cards without a spread. But I like that I don't use a spread because I'm told what cards to read in what order and what they mean in the sequence of events, and it helps me not use a spread. Even though I know that spreads are useful, I started reading tarot with spreads and then I stopped because I didn't like that I felt like they were confining. I felt like the oracle cards that I chose, emphasized the main point of this reading, which was that this Pentacles person learned to be a completely different individual with the community around him supporting him and the rededication to the community around him, as well as the capacity to build vulnerability and compassion for himself, and therefore the compassion for his family and his community. While there was a period of downturn for them, the overall ability to overcome this and to stay connected to this other person in this reading, which for all intents and purposes is me, was really special. The bond that these two people shared was like genuine, wholesome friendship. And I'm really touched to understand more about this relationship that I had with this person that I love so much in this life, even though he's just a far away a far away human being, you know. But he's larger than life to me, you know, because he's gigantic and I'll never meet him. But yeah, very cool shit. I really enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to doing it with other people. If you stuck around for the whole hour, thank you so much. Please subscribe to see more Unhinged Tarot. I'm gonna do probably once a month these readings. And you tell me a celebrity, alive or dead, and something that you're interested in knowing from them, and I will vet that obviously and see if I'm interested in doing it. But audience participation is welcome. And yeah, I don't know if I already said it. Thank you so much, and also like and subscribe, and thank you so much, and thank you so much, and thank you so much, David Duchovny's old dead ghost. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you.